Another experience, I got this phone call from Sister Victoria, and she was calling from the Virgin Islands. And she said, "Father, you said that you'd be willing to offer a retreat down here, and now I've got the wherewithal to do that. And so I want you to come down." And I said, "Well, how would we do that?" And she said, "Well, I've got a donor, he's going to fly you in." And I said, "Well, when would we come?" And she said, "Well, Father, it's the Caribbean. You don't want to come in the summer. You want to come in January when it's cold up in the north." So
I got a call, and Bill said, "There's an offer for a retreat. We'll have to travel. How do you feel about going to St. Croix?" I paused just long enough for dramatic effect, and I said, "Count me in."
Just before we flew out, the day before, Sister Victoria faxed me, and she said, "Well, you asked for 12 on the retreat." She said, "I don't have 12, I have 10, and they're not the apostles." So when we got there on retreat, it was just mystifying, because these guys were going in and out of the first exercise, and I'd never experienced anything like that. So at the break, I said, "Wayne, could you find out what's going on?"
And I did find out what was going on. They were traveling outside, and when I went out to ask what they were doing, they were gathered around some shrubs on the ground, and I said, "What's that?" And they introduced me to a plant that they explained that if you took some of it, it would give you a narcotic effect for several days. And I was stunned. I'm like, that's not quite why we're here.
So that was stunning. And then we went to go to bed, and Wayne and I each had our own rooms, and I didn't notice anything in my room, and all of a sudden I hear Wayne at my door.
And I have to say, initially I agreed to travel with Bill on the retreats, and I knew we would go to some tough places. And I consider myself a tough guy. I didn't know we would go to an island. And so I noticed in my room, after sitting there several times, that there was something in there, and I was not alone. Over time, my eyes became accustomed that my room was filled with these geckos who had this chameleon effect, and they were all over the wall. And I immediately realized I had to get back to Chicago. So I tore out of the door, flew down the corridor to Bill's, and this is 12 o'clock at night, and beat on the door. I didn't ask Bill what they were. I said, "Bill, we've got to go. We've got to leave." Bill inspired me to trust God. This is why we were here, and that it would be okay. I returned to my room, but it was several hours before I could sleep.
The witness statement is someone that's been on a retreat that comes back and gives their testimony to new guys that's just coming to a retreat.
The witness allows you some hope